Part 202. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2011. After such a wave, basically the entire adjudication department will be divided up. Fang Fan nodded secretly, listening to the explanation given by Sun Zi, the gold medal awarder. He probably understood. Why did only 4 judgment teams come? What about the remaining 6? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes silently, his coldness gradually revealed. My lord, the first judgment squad is led by my subordinates. The 8th, 9th, and 10th judgment teams have always been led by that deputy director Do Shun. As for the 6 judgment teams that were not present, they are all from the deputy director of Wugu. Sun Zi, the leader of the first judgment team of the 3rd division, silently moved to Fang Fan's side, and then followed suit. Your first judgment team should also belong to the Black Bone camp, right? Fang Fan smiled slightly and said to Sun Zi. Sun Zi's body trembled slightly, and then he took a breath, with a look of endless panic on his face. Before following the chief, the subordinates did belong to that faction. But after following the Lord, I have already completely dissociated myself from that faction, and I hope that the chief minister will clearly find out. My lord, my subordinates, the subordinates absolutely dare not have second thoughts. The loyalty of the subordinates to the chief is a lesson to be learned from heaven and earth. Subordinates. While talking, Sun Zi, the captain of the first judgment team of the 3rd division, immediately began to show his loyalty. Fang Fan smiled slightly, signaling that he needn't be so nervous. I just said it casually, you should be a little calm. What's the situation with Deputy Director Do Shun? How is his relationship with Wugu? Fang Fan pondered for a while, then glanced towards the distance, and happened to meet with Do Shun, another deputy director of the 3rd department of the tribunal. Do Shun, deputy director of the 3rd department of the adjudication office, smiled amiably, and nodded to Fang Fan, fully expressing his goodwill. This deputy director Do Shun has always looked like he is indifferent to the world. It's not like being in the same boat with deputy director Wugu. As for their relationship, it's not very good, but it's not so cold when they meet. He firmly controls the 3 judgment teams, and his position has always been very stable. Master Director is trying to win over Deputy Director Do Shun. On the side, Sun Zi, the leader of the first judgment team of the 3rd division of the tribunal, couldn't help but glance up while talking, wanting to know Fang Fan's intentions in advance, so that he can make the next correct suggestion. No. Don't worry too much. What should come, will always come. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, all kinds of thoughts exploded in his mind. Everyone, be quiet. Fang Fan walked up to the high platform, made a quiet gesture, and then glanced around. Presumably you already know my identity. My name is Fang Fan, the newly appointed director of the 3rd Tribunal Division of the Tribunal. I'm very happy that you can come here today. But at the same time, more than 60% of the rulings today are absent. The director of the department has always believed in rewards for meritorious deeds and punishment for demerits. All your allowances have been doubled this year. As soon as Fang Fan said it, the audience was completely shocked. Who will have trouble with the Star Corps? You must know that as a special department, their allowances are already very generous, and the one increase is doubled, which is simply not too cool. At this moment, the verdict in the audience made Fang Fan's gaze much gentler. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2012. You follow the order today, and you will be rewarded. But some judges openly disobeyed my edict, and couldn't even find a valid reason. All rulings that were not present today make all allowances deductible for this year. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and while talking, the corners of his mouth began to rise unnaturally. The degree of reward and punishment is fundamental. Putting it this way, it is equivalent to attracting a wave, and then suppressing a wave. The presence of these third division rulings makes nature very happy. After all, it is the benefits they have received. As for the attitudes of those third judges who were not on the spot, Fang Fan naturally couldn't control it at the moment. In any case, the initial gesture must be shown. Serving in the third division, one must be proficient in basic business. The purpose of the verdict is actually to make a verdict, to clear the heretics, and to clean up the miscreants inside the temple. Not only the interior of the temple, but also the Legion of Light and the 4 Golden Legions. If there are some mistakes in these army systems, they will explode in minutes. At the beginning, he met and greeted everyone, and after getting acquainted with each other, Fang Fan immediately announced his disbandment. "Director Fang Fan, please stop." A murky voice of a middle-aged man came from afar. Fang Fan turned his head to take a look, and found that it was Do Shun, another deputy director of the 3rd Department. If he hadn't brought the 3 judgment teams under his command today, Fang Fan might have to face the only judgment team brought by Sun Ziyi alone. Speaking of which, this deputy director Do Shun came here today to sell his face and support him for a while. Fang Fan nodded secretly, his attitude was more amiable. "Deputy Director Do Shun, what's the matter?" The corners of Fang Fan's mouth rose slightly, and then he followed suit. "He, Director Fang Fan has just taken office, so I naturally need to come to see him. I heard that Director Fang Fan has quite a connection with Dongguo Saint." Do Shun, the deputy director of the 3rd Division, took a deep breath, and couldn't help showing a look of anticipation on his face. When he spoke, his face flushed more or less. Fang Fan glanced at the purple robe on Do Shun's body. It was the uniform of the deputy 2nd rank acting cardinal of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. As the deputy director of the 3rd Department of the Temple Tribunal, it seems relatively normal to have the priesthood rank of deputy 2nd rank acting cardinal. It's just that he directly mentioned Dongguo Saint, which is actually equivalent to showing his own purpose. He intentionally flattered him, and even came here today to support the scene, all with a purpose. In the temple, there are really relationships everywhere. It doesn't matter, it's hard to move an inch. I can't talk about any connections, it's just that I happen to have some intersections with Lord Dongguo Saint. What does Deputy Director Do Shun mean by this? Fang Fan smiled indifferently, but seemed a little surprised. Cough, speaking of this matter, I still need a lot of help from Director Fang Fan. I want to join the Athena Goddess of Wisdom. It's just that I had some incomprehensions with Lord Dongguo Shenge before, so Dongguo Shenge has been ignoring me. It's been a long time since I felt the call of Goddess Athena's crown. At this moment, I feel inexplicably empty in my heart. I want to join the Goddess of Athena Society, I want to join the organization." Do Shun, deputy director of the 3rd Department of the Adjudication Office, was speaking, his eyes became more and more earnest. "You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2013. Fang Fan opened his mouth, looking extremely confused at the moment. "That's it? Joining the Athena Goddess of Wisdom, is this your ultimate goal?" To put it bluntly, Dong Qiushuo is indeed the president of the Athena Goddess of Wisdom Association. If he insists on not allowing this Do Shun to join the Goddess Association, this Do Shun really has nothing to do. But according to Fang Fan's understanding, Dong Qiushuo had always hoped that the Goddess of Wisdom would become stronger. He probably wouldn't refuse the joining of a deputy 2nd rank cardinal who held a certain amount of real power, right? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows subconsciously, and he couldn't help showing some curiosity on his face. Deputy Director Do Shun offended Dongguo Shenj before. Fang Fan asked directly, and now he can only think of this possibility. For it. Why? Director Fang Fan, let me tell you the truth, I used to be a member of the Athena Goddess of Wisdom. Because of a misunderstanding, I was expelled from the Goddess Association. At that time, Master Dongguo Saint saved me a little face, but he just kicked me out of the Goddess Association, but he didn't drive me out of the temple. If I had really done something like that back then, even if I was expelled from the temple, or even burned to death on the stake, I would feel that there was nothing wrong with it, and I would even be convinced. But what happened back then really has nothing to do with me. I have never blasphemed Her Majesty the Goddess Athena. I have always regarded the crown of the Goddess Athena as my supreme belief. How could I do such a thing? While talking, Do Shun, Deputy Director of the 3rd Department of the Tribunal, immediately blushed and his body trembled more and more. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows subconsciously. This matter seems to be getting more and more interesting. It has to be said that Fang Fan's desire for knowledge was indeed aroused. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and the corners of his mouth turned involuntarily. This Deputy Director Do Shun even showed some shyness while talking. Judging from the expression on the face of a middle-aged greasy uncle, it seems a bit regular. I'm curious, what kind of misunderstanding? What does this have to do with blaspheming the goddess Athena? Fang Fan felt more and more confused at this moment. Back then, I touched the buttocks. I really didn't mean to. Someone deliberately pushed me, and I bumped into it out of desperation. At that time, I had confessed countless times. Do Shun seemed to be about to cry while talking. Fang Fan. He thought, what the hell? I just touched the sculpture of the goddess Athena, so I was shy and frightened. He was even directly eliminated from the Athena Goddess of Wisdom Society. Is it so evil? Fang Fan took a deep breath, feeling his scalp tingling for no reason. It is not surprising what these devout believers can do. These are all boss operations. Director Fang Fan, why are you silent? Do you also think it's too much? If this comes from my heart's desire, I am willing to be directly hit by 5 thunders. I just hope Her Majesty the Goddess can give me a chance to reform myself. Do Shun, Deputy Director of the 3rd Department of the Adjudication Office, looked like he was about to cry. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2014. Fang Fan subconsciously opened his mouth. The desire to complain was extremely strong at this moment. Is it necessary to speak so righteously about this matter? Deputy Director Do Shun, I think that Her Majesty the Goddess may not be as small as you imagined. You don't need to get involved in this matter at all. Don't say you didn't do it unintentionally. Even if it was intentional, it's actually not a big problem. Fang Fan looked at Do Shun, the Deputy Director of the 3rd Division of the Tribunal, and then shrugged. What Fang Fan said were naturally the most sincere words from the heart. Why isn't it such a big problem? This question, how bad it is? No. When I think of this, my heart hurts, and I feel sorry for the goddess. If I really had any nasty thoughts back then, I didn't need Dongguo Saint to tell me, I would just kill myself. But I really didn't have any dirty thoughts, so I seemed a little wronged. While speaking, Do Shun, Deputy Director of the 3rd Department of the Tribunal, trembled his lips unnaturally, and various thoughts gathered in his mind, and his feelings became unusually intense. Fang Fan shrugged. At the moment he didn't want to explain anything at all, because it was meaningless. In the eyes of Do Shun, the Deputy Director of the 3rd Department of the Tribunal, even touching the sculpture under the goddess's crown is a great sin, and even looking for death? Who knows how his strange thinking mode came about? it can only be said that the brainwashing operation of the Temple of the Alliance of Light is very thorough. Fang Fan's mind moved slightly. If it is a great sin to even slightly touch the sculpture of the goddess's crown, then he once pressed a goddess's crown to the ground and rubbed it for several hours in the small world of Shushan Pavilion. How should this be counted? Fang Fan still remembers that the goddess seems to be called the Starry Night Goddess. At the beginning, the goddess of Starry Night descended on Sikong Yuxin with her divine consciousness. Later, due to various changes, it developed into the current situation. Fang Fan took a deep breath, and all kinds of thoughts boiled in his mind. Fang Fan resisted the urge to give examples, otherwise, according to the consciousness of Do Shun, the deputy director of the third department of the tribunal, he might commit seppuku every minute. Fang Fan, Director Fang Fan. I don't know about you, can you talk to Saint Dongguo? I really want to return to the Athena goddess of wisdom. After I join the Goddess Association, I will definitely restrain my behavior as much as possible, and will not do any inappropriate things again. While speaking, Do Shun, Deputy Director of the Third Department of the Adjudication Office, showed his earnest expression vividly. This was the most sincere desire from the heart. Although Fang Fan can't quite understand it, there is no doubt that there are indeed feelings and concerns in this regard. It's okay to talk about it. Since it's a misunderstanding, wouldn't it be good to clear up the misunderstanding? I think Brother Dongguo will still give me this face. It's just the first time I came to the tribunal. Fang Fan pondered, and while speaking, the smile on the corner of his mouth became more and more real. In fact, it is hinting secretly from the sidelines now, and now it depends on whether the deputy director Do Shun has eyesight. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2015. Asking people to help naturally requires paying an appropriate price. Don't worry, Director Fang Fan. I joined the Goddess of Wisdom Society, then we are a family. Our family naturally wants to love each other, there is no doubt about it. At that time, in the third division, the three ruling teams under my command will all obey the call of Director Fang Fan. There will be absolutely no complaints. Actually, I have also heard about Director Fang Fan before. It is said that Goddess Athena once bestowed divine favor on you. You can win the favor of the goddess, you are the idol in my heart. If I can get a glimpse of the goddess in this life, I will die without regret. Do Shun, Deputy Director of the Third Department of the Adjudication Office, took a deep breath, and unnaturally began to seep some cold sweat from the palms of his hands. While speaking, he subconsciously swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Up. At this moment, thinking in my heart, I put my hands together in front of me, and my eyes gradually become extremely sharp. Fang Fan felt his scalp tingling inexplicably when he heard Do Shun showing his loyalty here. So beautiful. Once the belief is crazy to a certain extent, there is indeed a feeling of dancing. Just like the deputy director Do Shun in front of him, he seems a little crazy. But today's conversation with deputy director Do Shun is not meaningless, at least 3 ruling teams have been gathered. At that time, coupled with the full support of the Deputy Director Do Shun, it will be much easier for Fang Fan to control the power of the entire third division. The key now is to survive this wave in all directions. Fang Fan's thoughts moved slightly, his hands were put together in front of him, and various thoughts gathered in his mind. See micro-knowledge. Take control of one department first, and then slowly erode the entire tribunal. After controlling the entire tribunal, the weight of authority in the temple is already very heavy. The matter in the tribunal has come to an end for the time being, and now we need to release the troops and people of Shu Kingdom, Tian Kingdom, and Chiu Kingdom. At this moment, they are all in the small world of Shushan Pavilion, and the time flow rate of the small world of Shushan Pavilion is 10 times that of the outside world. It's only been a few days outside, and it's been a month since the acquisition inside. The internal space of Shushan Pavilion's small world is limited, and millions of people are suddenly filled in, which is more or less crowded. In addition, allowing the troops and people of the three kingdoms to stay in the small world of Shushan Pavilion will also cause some deviations in the original evolutionary path of the small world of Shushan Pavilion. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, secretly thinking. Fang Fan's initial idea was to transfer the troops and people of the three kingdoms directly to the human plane. Master of the Temple, this is a high-quality resource plane bestowed by the temple after you were promoted to become the deputy second-rank acting cardinal of the temple. In the distance, Hao Yun strode over, with a look of joy on his face. A high-quality resource plane. Fang Fan's thoughts moved slightly, and a look of astonishment appeared on his face. What the hell is this? Seeing the doubts on Fang Fan's face, Hao Yun took a deep breath, and then quickly explained, this is a special benefit for all clerics above the second rank in the Temple of the Light Alliance. To put it simply, this is a resource plane, but the various ores contained in this resource plane are of high quality, so it is also called a high-quality resource plane. Generally speaking, for a better high-quality resource plane, the output in a century can even reach 1,000,000 star cores. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2016. While Hao Yun was talking, the excitement on his face was vividly displayed. While speaking, the tremors of his body also increased, and various thoughts gathered in his mind, and his eyes were full of excitement. 100 years, 1,000,000 star cores, 1 year is 10,000 star cores, this is not a small number. Of course, the quality of a resource plane capable of producing millions of star core resources in 100 years is already extremely high. Fang Fan remembered that when he was the deputy third-rank acting archbishop in Red, his allowance was only a few thousand star cores. From this point of view, the value of a resource plane can be imagined. My lord, what's wrong with you? Are you not interested in this resource plane? Then I will help you deal with it immediately. It's all because of Hao Yun's talkativeness. How could such a trivial matter bother the palace master? While Hao Yun was talking, he still had a smile on his face, and as he spoke, there were gleams of light in his eyes. Etc. Let's go to this resource plane to see. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, and a look of interest suddenly appeared on his face. In the beginning, he really wasn't very interested in this resource plane. But that is definitely not the case now. From Fang Fan's point of view, this resource plane can completely become another stronghold under his command. The 3 caves of the cunning rabbit, Fang Fan still understands this truth. If something really happened on the human plane, it would be great to have a way out. For Fang Fan, he didn't want to miss this opportunity. If this resource plane is suitable, people from the 3 kingdoms can be stationed there first, and then develop it little by little. After the cultivators from the human race plane or human emperor's hall come here, they can stay here. There can also exist as a branch hall of the human emperor's hall. If something unexpected happens on the human plane while I'm away, you can still evacuate towards this resource plane. Fang Fan's eyeballs rolled, and he thought to himself, all kinds of thoughts gathered in his mind, and the smile on Fang Fan's mouth was vividly displayed. Half an hour later, a light spot flickered in the endless void. My lord, this is the snow crystal plane. The coordinates are this. In the endless void, if there are no coordinates to guide, I am afraid no one will find this place. The reason why this high-quality resource plane is called the snow crystal plane is because this plane is rich in a natural ore called snow crystal. This kind of snow crystal is of great benefit to the cultivation of water-type ice-type practitioners, and it can also be used to create some high-level weapons, so the price is not cheap. My lord, the Temple of the Alliance of Light really treats you very leniently. Such an excellent plane is actually given to you. Generally speaking, even ordinary second-rank cardinals may not be able to obtain this kind of extremely high-quality resource plane. Hao Yun smiled, and then babbled on the report. All in all, it is to say how good this resource plane is, how valuable it is. Fang Fan listened without saying a word, but he also got a general idea of the snow crystal plane. This plane, are there other creatures? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and then asked. Yes, Lord Hall Master, there is a race called the Snow Clan living in the snow crystal plane. Generally speaking, the mining tasks are also entrusted to them. We only need to collect snow crystals at a fixed time. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2017. Hao Yun groaned, then continued. Snow Clan. Fang Fan raised his head silently, the astonishment on his face vividly displayed. He could almost foresee that when the snow crystal plane had not been discovered, the native snow clan of the snow crystal plane should have lived here very plainly, living a carefree life in a paradise. But now, everything has changed. When the snow crystals here proved to be of great value, these snow clan who were not strong enough to resist became the prey in the eyes of everyone. They are the best miners, they are forced to pick snow crystals, and then pay their offerings. Fang Fan's footsteps were moving above the snow crystal plane, and he could clearly see the snow clan members trembling in the cold wind beating the snow crystal mine. The coldness in the snow crystal mine corroded their bones, making them look extremely weak. Fang Fan let out a mouthful of turbid air silently, all kinds of thoughts were churning in his mind, his eyes gradually gathered, and his thoughts were completely boiling. Weakness is the original sin. If the human plane hadn't become powerful, some human races might have become humble miners at this moment. Everything is just good fortune. Good luck tricks people. Fang Fan sighed softly, all kinds of thoughts gathered in his mind, and some inexplicable feelings hit him. Xueqinren, the patriarch of the Snow Clan, and Xueling, the princess of the Snow Clan, seek to meet the Lord of the Plain. A group of people rushed over from a distance, all wearing similar snow-white robes. Seeing Fang Fan's presence at this moment, they all rushed over urgently, and the expressions on their faces were very real. My lord, after changing the master of the general resource plane, some rituals need to be performed. This Snow Clan patriarch probably wants to offer his loyalty. Hao Yun glanced forward, and then said with deep confidence that in this matter, he is still very strong. Let them come over. Fang Fan frowned. Originally, he didn't intend to stay here for a long time, but thinking about it, if he wanted to make the snow crystal plane the second residence of the human emperor's palace, he would have to interact with these people from the snow crystal plane in the future. Indigenous tribe dealing with the Snow Clan. At this time, there is no harm in being familiar. When these Snow Clan people came over, Fang Fan glanced over and saw only pieces of skinny bones. Numerous welts were faintly visible on their bodies, and they wore special heavy shackles on their feet. There were about 100 men and women who came here, and the two standing in front were a middle-aged man with an extraordinary bearing and a girl with a clean face. According to their introduction, this middle-aged man is Xueqinren, the patriarch of the Snow Clan, and the clean-looking girl is Xueling, the princess of the Snow Clan. Master of the Plain, please allow our Snow Clan to dedicate our loyalty to you. Our Snow Clan's holiest princess, Xueling, will present our Snow Clan's sacred objects to demonstrate our Snow Clan's determination to always be loyal to the Lord of the Plain. Please, the Lord of the Plain, complete it. In mid-air, Xueqinren, the patriarch of the Snow Clan, knelt down on one knee, his eyes flickered as he spoke, and he looked very excited. In the mind, all kinds of feelings completely exploded in my mind. Fang Fan frowned silently. What the Xue Clan patriarch said seemed ordinary, but for some reason, Fang Fan felt a little harsh in his ears. Allegiance. Offering holy things. A gesture of complete surrender. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2018. This is a way to protect oneself, but Fang Fan always feels that something is not quite right. Probably felt that the Snow Clan patriarch was holding back his energy when he spoke. Fang Fan squinted his eyes secretly and took a look. The patriarch of the Snow Clan was also a quasi-sage cultivator, and it was basically impossible to find any waves. Seeing the Snow Clan princess looking eagerly at him wanting to give away the Snow Clan's holy relic, Fang Fan nodded secretly. Ken. Fang Fan nodded and expressed his thoughts. At this moment, everything is a foregone conclusion. All kinds of thoughts frantically gathered in his mind, and the smile on Fang Fan's face was extremely real. From his own point of view, he is still unwilling to treat these Snow Clan cultivators too harshly. Probably the human race had suffered such a danger of being enslaved before, so there was more or less a sense of sympathy in their hearts. Xueling, the princess of the Snow Clan, stood up tremblingly, perhaps because of fear, or perhaps because she couldn't let go in front of Fang Fan. In short, when offering the sacred objects, her arms were shaking violently. Fang Fan frowned silently. He suddenly had a feeling that the frightened posture of the Snow Princess Xueling was deliberately displayed. But why is this woman deliberately pretending? To show your weakness? Or, have no intentions? Fang Fan raised his head silently, with a look of anticipation on his face. When Xueling, the princess of the Snow Clan, walked up to Fang Fan even walked up to him with a smile on his face. The prostitute? Give back my sister's life. Give back the lives of my people. Whoosh. A dagger was stabbed directly from the hand of Xueling, the princess of the Snow Clan, with a flickering light, and it went directly towards Fang Fan's chest. Obviously he wanted to kill Fang Fan directly. Nothing was left behind. Fang Fan's eyes flickered with murderous intent, and then he grabbed the stabbing dagger at lightning speed, and then threw it aside. What a sharp dagger! Fang Fan's thoughts moved slightly. At this moment, his palm had been pierced by a dagger, blood gradually flowed down, and the smell of blood gradually gathered. Ha ha ha! You're dead. You're dead. You bastard. It's you. It's all you. Otherwise, my son wouldn't die tragically. Fang Fan. You have today too. A middle-aged man galloped out from the Snow Clan, his face showing excitement. As for the Snow Clan Princess Xueling who made the move, she stood aside with a complicated expression. At this moment, he never continued to attack Fang Fan, but just looked at Fang Fan so directly, and there was even a look of infinite guilt in his eyes. At this moment, Fang Fan felt inexplicably confused. What the hell was going on? My lord, your palm. At this moment, Hao Yun suddenly took a breath and shouted in horror. I saw that tiny wound on Fang Fan's palm was seeping purple blood at this moment. And the color of the blood continued to deepen, and at this moment it seemed inexplicably giving people a sense of mental sprint. It's like subconsciously feeling terrified. Palm. Fang Fan frowned. He could clearly feel a crazy speed invading his heart at this moment. This toxin was extremely strong. Even if Fang Fan suppressed it with the cultivation base of the supreme quasi-sacred realm, it had no effect. On the contrary, the more he suppressed it, the stronger it became. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2019. Fang Fan Thief. Don't struggle. This is poison and death. Do you know why it's called Death Saint? It's saying that cultivators in the sanctuary realm will surely die if they get even a little contaminated. As for you, hee, it's not worth mentioning at all. You will definitely die this time. Son. Kyanger. Father avenged you. The middle-aged man gradually took off his disguise. Obviously, he is not a member of the Snow clan. Judging by his attire, he looks more like a priest of a temple. Fang Fan didn't have much nervous expression on his face at the moment. Did poison enter his body? Are you panicking? What other toxins can't be eliminated by the serum card? It's just that Fang Fan is a little curious who actually came up with such a vicious Fang Fan conspiracy to plot against him. And the timing is so good, could there be a traitor around him? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, and fell into infinite contemplation at this moment. If this matter is not handled properly, there will be big problems. Why did you kill me? I ask myself that. I have never met you, and I have no grievances or enmities with you. Fang Fan pretended to be extremely weak after being invaded by poison. Why did you kill you? Why don't you really know? Hateful. Extremely hateful. You bloody bastard. Okay. I'll let you die to understand today. Tai Shuqian is my son. You have such a vicious heart. How dare you kill him? He is the divine son of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, and he has an unparalleled talent for cultivation. He is compatible with the gods of light. He is the best successor under the Pope's crown. He can be Pope in the future. But because of you, all this is gone. It's over. It's over. Everything in my great-uncle's house is gone. My great-uncle Yan swears that he will kill you. How is it? Is the snow crystal resource plane very good? This was originally my son's exclusive resource plane. Now that he is dead, I applied to the temple to give you this resource plane. Tisk tisk tisk, I didn't expect you, an idiot, to be tricked. Don't stare at me like that. It's useless, you're dead. If you are poisoned by the Death Saint, you will definitely die. While Tai Shiyan was talking, he immediately danced along with him. His excitement was beyond words. Judging from the decorations on his body, he is still the deputy second-rank acting cardinal of the temple, with a 3-star sanctuary cultivation base. This is the deputy second-rank acting cardinal with the lowest cultivation level that Fang Fan has ever seen. You must know that Nangong Lei was already a 5-star sanctuary when he was the 3rd-rank red-clothed archbishop. The deputy second-rank acting cardinal of the 3-star sanctuary realm. At first glance, there is something tricky in it, at least there are some elements of illegal operations in it. After the acting cardinal Tai Shiyan, deputy second rank of the Temple of the Light Alliance, finished speaking, Fang Fan got a rough idea. Unexpectedly, this guy is also the father of Tai Shuqian, the godson of the Alliance of Light Temple. It's just that Tai Shuqian was too deadly in the ruins of the gods, and Fang Fan had already beheaded him directly. Now this Tai Shuqian wanted to avenge his son, and then performed such a scene. Looking at this guy's appearance, it seems that he is determined to eat him. Great uncle, master great uncle, I hope you can keep your promise and release our Snow Clan people back. Don't hurt their lives, they are all innocent. At this moment, Shwekinran, the patriarch of the Snow Clan, suddenly looked at Tai Shiyan with pleading eyes and said, Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 2020. Hearing what Shwekinran, the patriarch of the Snow Clan, said, Fang Fan has a high probability of knowing why the Shwe clan participated in this assassination. It stands to reason that the current living conditions of the Snow Clan are extremely difficult. It can be seen from their clothes and even the skinny state of the clansmen that life is not happy. That is to say, the previous owner of the Snow Crystal resource plane dealt them extra heavy damage, and it is especially true at this moment. In this case, it is not bad for them not to resist such a rule, so how can they help the evildoers? It can only be said that they have indeed fallen into a predicament. At this moment, the Snow Clan is being held hostage. Holding some Snow Clan members hostage to control another part of the Snow Clan people. Taishiyan, the deputy second-rank acting cardinal of this temple, still has some brains. Yes, I'm sorry. I can't. For the sake of the people, I can only do this. When you die, I will return this life to you. Standing not far away, Xueling, the princess of the Snow Clan, suddenly opened her eyes wide as she spoke, and tears welled up in her pupils. Could this be the personality of the Virgin Mary in the legend? I gave you a knife, and then I committed suicide to apologize. Fang Fan was inexplicably amused. At this moment, his eyes scanned the surrounding area, various thoughts gathered in his mind, and the feelings deep in his heart seemed extremely real. Go away. Go away. You lowly Snow Clan people. Let's talk about your affairs later. When Fang Fan is killed, I will control the Snow Crystal Plain. When the time comes, you will all be my slaves. Don't worry, it's impossible for me to kill high-quality miners. Taishiyan, deputy second-rank acting cardinal of the temple, proudly raised his head, and while talking, his face could not help but flash with murderous intent. All kinds of thoughts suddenly rushed in my mind, as if mixed with the tendency to tear everything apart. He deployed such a big game with one purpose from beginning to end, and that was to kill Fang Fan. Seeing Fang Fan's arms gradually developing towards dark purple, and even the skin on his entire body gradually changing color, he felt extremely comfortable. He felt that Fang Fan was going to die soon, and he would be able to get his wish soon. Thinking of this, the trembling feeling all over his body is extremely sincere and clear. Fang Fan. Die. Die. Deadly holy poison, hee, but I spent tens of millions of star cores to get it. In order to kill you, I will spare no expense. I know that you are on good terms with Saint Dongguo. Even if I kill you in the temple, I won't be able to survive. But if you are lured into the Snow Crystal Plain, no one can save you. Cardinal Taishiyan, deputy second-grade acting cardinal of the temple, became more and more excited while talking. A strange smile suddenly appeared on Fang Fan's face. You really think you're going to eat me? Actually, you are going to die soon. If you have any last wish to say before you die, just say it quickly. Fang Fan asked back, the smile on his face was very real. You are as arrogant as ever. He's still talking nonsense when he's about to die. Obviously you are going to die, I am the final winner. Taishiyan, deputy second-rank acting cardinal of the Temple of the Light Alliance, held his head high, and the sneer on his face gradually increased. Since the beginning, he has been full of confidence. But gradually, his complexion suddenly changed, and even, became extremely ugly.